Hey guys, what's going on? Sincere here with whoissincere.com and the All Rights Matter show. I just want to tell you guys Happy New Year's. It's 2017, and I know you haven't seen me in a while, but I'm okay. I'm alive. I've just been working hard, doing a regular job, a few regular jobs, and getting my family ready for the holidays and trying to recharge after a very stressful last year. So we're walking into another year here, and for all of my subscribers, I realized that over 4,000 people, almost close to 4,500 people, have subscribed to me within the last year. You guys have also given me a couple million views on YouTube, and for a newbie like me, that means the world to me. That means that you really enjoyed my research and the things that I put out there. Um, I haven't forgotten about you guys. I have not forgotten about you guys. I haven't forgotten about all the support and all the love and all of the kind words and the messages and the emails, the inboxes, you name it. And I can just say my fan base is the best. You guys are the best supporters that anyone could ask for. And I appreciate you guys checking up on me, the ones that have checked up on me the last few months, just to make sure everything is okay. Everything is good with me. For those of you that haven't seen me and maybe have been wondering, I'm okay. Um, I kind of slowed down a little bit last year after being physically threatened. And the story that a lot of you guys didn't get, and now that it's come to a close and I can talk about it, is I didn't only get physically threatened before I moved to this property where I'm at now. Where I'm at now is actually designed like a bunker. I mean, literally, a tornado, hurricane, nothing can destroy these buildings. I mean, they're literally designed like bunkers. They've been around for a few decades now, and they've been remodeled into one bedroom, kind of like luxury apartments. It's a really lovely community. Um, the I feel safer here. Now, for those of you that don't know, there's a video on my YouTube where I'm showing that I was actually targeted. The electricity was cut off to my street, and black FBI trucks arrived behind my house. And there's only one person that lived behind my old house where I used to live at. I lived on the side of Raccoon Mountain, and not sure why that just shut out. But anyway, what I was saying is I lived behind the mountain, Raccoon Mountain in Chattanooga, in a very nice neighborhood over there. And I'm just not sure, well, I guess I am a little bit sure why this happened, so I'll explain it to you. Just real quick. One morning, and taking the lady to work, uh, the electricity was off when we awakened. And as we were heading out of our driveway, I was going to just, tell her to go ahead and drive, and I'll stay behind for the day. But I said, no, I'll go ahead and, drop you off since the electricity's off. I can't do anything anyway. I might as well get out and maybe go grab some breakfast or something like that on the way back. And as we're actually pulling out, uh, an FBI truck rolls from behind my house. I mean, we're talking about 5:30, maybe 6 o'clock in the morning, and the only person behind my house is a little old lady. That was the only person that lived behind me over there. Was a little old lady. She was about, it looked to be easily in her 90s. Her children came by, to take care of her from time to time, and she lived in the house all by herself. Um, which is, it's a normal thing around here. If you don't want to put your parents in a home or anything, the children come by. They help, their mother maintain the house, maintain the property. They cut the grass and all that stuff. Take out the trash every week. I believe that was her son that would stop by, and he'd grab the trash bucket from the house and put it out by the road. So I was used to seeing the activity of this lady's house. Well, as I'm pulling out of my driveway this morning, there's a brand new, all blacked out, completely black tinted windows SUV that rushes out of her driveway. Now, me personally, I drive an FBI truck. Not many people know that, but I have a Dodge Durango. I bought it from an auction, and the only person that owned it before me, the only people that owned it before me, was the Philadelphia FBI field office. So I brought it in Philadelphia. And when I bought it, actually, it still had two bullets in it. Not bullets from where it's been shot, but bullets where I guess the FBI agents that were using that truck, they were careless, and I don't know how you could be careless with bullets, but they were careless in their bullets. So I found two bullets actually in the truck. But I brought my truck for a little bit over $1,000 at a public auto auction, and I have an all black Durango with all of the equipment, and the wiring is still in the truck for all of their equipment they had in there, but of course all the equipment is out of the truck. But it's all blacked out, all the full options, the biggest engine in it with completely black tinted windows. That's the truck that I drive. Okay, I call it the Beast. It's literally one of the best trucks I've ever driven in my life. So I actually own an FBI all blacked out truck. So when I saw this truck pulling out of my 90-something-year-old neighbor's house during this morning, where I live on a smart grid, so if there's any kind of electrical outage, they can reroute the power and you'll have power back up in a matter of seconds, if it even goes out. So living on a smart grid where I know they could reroute the power, I thought it was very odd that this black truck was sitting behind my house, on a morning where my electric is out. As I followed that truck and went up the street, there was another truck that it was, just shortly, I lived like around a corner. So as I went around the corner, there was another black truck right there, and the same make and model. And they were obviously in cahoots with each other. They obviously were talking to each other or communicating with each other. The one truck I was following, it stopped in the middle of the street, backed up, and it backed down a really long driveway. So I kept going, and we have a roundabout at the end of the road. And I turned around and I said, wait, I got to go back and see what all of this is about. When I went to go back to see what all of it was about, both of those black trucks were now on the opposite side of the street. There was a street across the street from where that driveway was. They were on the opposite side of the street, making a right onto the street, meaning they were making a right and then coming towards me onto the street of where I was coming back from down that same street. So I was able to capture both of the trucks on video just really quickly as I was passing back by, and they sped off, and I've never seen them again. Coincidentally, this happened last year, of course. Coincidentally, this happened the day before I was scheduled to move here. That was the last day that I lived at that property over there, and the next day I was here. So I just find that, extremely odd that it went down like that. Also, past that, my family was attacked. So my family, I have a daughter in New Jersey, and her mother, and I'm not going to go into all the details because there's still some ongoing things that we're hiring an investigator and going through some processes. But my family was attacked, and they tried to take my daughter. They tried to take my little girl away from her mother for something that she didn't do, something that she just simply didn't do. Okay, and the judge that she went before is a judge that she has worked with for years. She's been a youth worker for the actual state of New Jersey. She worked within the prison system, and she would help out with these juveniles and take their cases and not represent them in court, but be there as a representation for them in court to help speak up for them in court. So she sat before this judge many, 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 many times. And this same judge is the same judge that tried to, in turn, take my daughter away from her. So I was dealing with that as well. And, I even had to be in court via telephone here in Tennessee, where I'm located at. So that was very difficult to deal with because I know that she's the best mother to my daughter, and also to her eldest daughter as well too. So the two girls, I mean, they have a great mother. I mean, that just really does all that she can to show them that she loves them, that she cares about them, and that she wants nothing but the best for them. but yet the state of New Jersey and the Child Protective Services tried to paint a completely different picture. And if it wasn't for my showing up for my testimony and for sticking it out, with her and her lawyer for this whole case, undoubtedly they would have had their way and they would have taken my daughter away from her mother under completely false pretenses. So I was dealing with that last year, and that was undoubtedly to me, uh, it was undoubtedly to me an attack because of the simple fact that I spoke out about the local government back at home, very, very aggressively about the prosecutor's office, about the legal system, about the courts, about the police officers, because my friend Philip White was killed by violent police officers. They completely covered it up with an overnight grand jury that no one knows about, and decided they weren't going to prosecute the officers who were clearly in the wrong, and it was shown on video that they were in the wrong, and that their attorney was actually lying for them for the police department. So I went aggressive, in my campaign to seek out justice for my friend Philip White and for his mother, and in doing so, I was answered with turmoil that I've never experienced inside of my family before. And this turmoil, once I started realizing the players that were behind the scene, I could see that this was a direct attack of to shut up, and to derail me, if you will. And I won't lie to you guys, it worked temporarily. It tore down my confidence. It made me a little bit nervous and scared, of course, because I love and care about my family deeply. I never want to see anything happen to my daughter, her sister, or her mother. Nothing at all. So, nothing negative. And to see the things that were starting to transpire, I knew that these things were, it was slowly starting to get out of my control, and I can see that people were pulling strings behind the scenes. So, this thing got really deep, guys, and it got really, really, really close to them taking my daughter away. And those of you that know me personally, you know how I feel about my daughter. Daddy plays no games when it comes to his daughter. So it was a very hurtful time. And just had to piece a lot of things together. But overall, we came out relatively victorious, and praise God for that. And there's still a little bit more battling to do, but we're not caught up in that system. The case has been closed out. It was just recently completely closed out. They could find. Okay, guys, I actually ended up getting a phone call in while I was, recording that video. So, long story short, the case was closed out. My life is getting back to normal now. A few blessings have happened to our family within the last, I'd say, month or so that are going to open new doors of opportunity this year. So, and I look forward to more blessings actually happening. So, all in all, I had the physical threat, then I had the threat towards my family. It put me in a corner a little bit, and you could say it however you will. Maybe I cowered away a little bit, but I will not lie and say that I was not fearful. When you don't go through things like that, and you're not used to going through things like that, it's not something that you can sit there and say, oh, well, it's not going to bother me. It bothered me. It bothered me a lot more than I had realized at the time that it was bothering me. So, for the last few months, I've been paying extremely close attention to everything that's going on. I follow several people out there in the YouTube world. I read a lot of articles. I'm always reading. And I've learned a lot over the course of the last 6 months, I'll say. And even though I haven't reported it necessarily to you guys, everything that I've learned and everything that I've uncovered and that I've seen, I've been keeping track. And there's certain things that I knew that when I came back to the YouTube platform that I wanted to speak about. I wanted to open you guys up to understand, and so that you can see that, one, I'm not creating these reports out of the thin air, and two, that this is all a plan and it's all going somewhere. So There's a couple articles that I'll leave links to below where you can actually read of where my mindset was back in March of 2016. This is before Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton had won the nomination, the front runner nomination for their parties. And it's definitely before Donald Trump actually won the presidential election. So what I say in these articles, and I read them just the other day myself, actually, yesterday. What I said in these articles is so stunning that it borders, it's nothing less than what I would call a prediction. I focused on Donald Trump heavily during the election cycle because that's where I saw it going. I saw it going that direction from 2015, from where I had placed out an article in September of 2015, I believe it was, showing that, hey, President Trump, or well, he's going to be President Trump now soon, but President-elect Trump is the same exact person as President Obama. It's the same marketing system, and I realized that they were using a very unique marketing system in the Trump campaign well before anybody else. I've realized that this was exactly the marketing strategy that Obama actually won Marketer of the Year for. A lot of folks don't know that once he took the presidency, he was given an award for Marketer of the Year. So this was the same thing that Trump was doing. He was using a page right out of Obama's book, and he just used it on a different part of the population. That's all. But it was the exact same tactics, and it worked flawlessly, just like President Obama's marketing campaign worked out for him 2 times. So excuse me. I want to bring you guys, of course, up to speed on all the things that I've learned over the course of this last few months, and how my ideas and concepts have evolved from what you've known from my reports from last year. So let me give you a context of a few things that I've written down here that I'll be discussing in 2017. I'm going to open up a Patreon page. I'm not going to rely on YouTube and Google to give me my money. I'm also going to show you guys how through creating an app. I have my own app, which I have, I think, over 1,000 downloads on so far. And it's an independent app outside of the Google Play Store, so that you can put it on your phone. I can send you push notifications, and you can know whenever a video is released, or whenever I have anything of importance that's actually released. You could be the first to actually know. We have to get out of these algorithms of Google and YouTube, because they put us in these algorithms that garnish more control for them, and it gives less visibility to the independent media items that we actually spend massive amount of time researching and getting out there to you guys. So we have to get out of those algorithms and do things in a different way, so that people understand that we want to connect with them. We want them to see our information, but these corporate interests, they're just trying to hold us back from that. So I'm going to, urge you guys that are watching this, that support me, that are also fellow YouTubers. Hey, look, there's another way to do it, guys. Make sure you visit the link below my video to download my app. And, download my app, take a look at it, and then model your app also, after the concept of that. I have my blog page on there. I have my YouTube videos on there. I believe I have some sponsor information on there, and maybe I still have Anon Radio on there. I'm no longer at Anon Radio, but from when I had my radio show at Anon Radio, that was all within my app, and I developed that app over a year ago now, a year and a half ago, because I seen what the algorithms were starting to do to people. So all this big fuss now about fake news and all that stuff, I'm not really worried about it, because I've already come up with a marketing concept that works extremely well and has worked extremely well for me, which is through using my app. So I encourage you guys that are fellow YouTubers, do the same thing. Go ahead and get yourself an app developed so that you can connect with your large fan bases, and you can stay in control of actually connecting with them. I urge you to diversify the way that you communicate and connect with your fan base, whether that be through an email newsletter, through email subscription, or through an app. There has to be alternative ways for you to communicate with your fan base that are outside of the algorithms of Google and YouTube. So some of the things we're going to be talking about in 2017, and when I say we are going to be talking about, I don't mean just me. I'm going to investigate it, of course, and bring you guys the information. I'm going to take your request in when I develop the Patreon page. The different levels of dedication, that people pay on a monthly basis. I'm going to give you guys different levels of access to what I can actually provide for you. And if you've seen any of my previous content and any of my previous work, you know that I can provide a lot. And I can provide as much as you guys want me to provide, and as much as you will enable me to provide. So I don't mind getting out there, hitting the streets. I don't mind interviewing people. I don't mind just popping up on people. I did it to Ted Cruz. In 2015, when he first came out and he came here to Chattanooga, I popped up on him right after he got out of his bus, and I asked him a question. I was the only black guy in the audience at this church, and everyone was looking at me because they thought I was going to ask a Black Lives Matter question. I had a different question for him, so and I got my answer to it. But I don't mind hitting the streets and just popping up and asking the difficult questions and getting true answers, and then not just relying on the answers that are given by authority figures, but also challenging them on those answers as well. So I through the Patreon, I'm going to give you guys different levels of access to things that you can get me to do, and you can participate in helping me to do for you guys. So all of that's going to be set up here within the next week or so. And, I urge you guys, so continue to support me. I promise you that I may have taken a break and tried to get my mental bearings back together and try to get my life, in order here, but I have not been broken. I may have taken a break, but I have not been broken. I am still here. I'm still here for you. And this is what I want to do with my life. I have figured it out. I guess, okay, that went off for a second there, but I figured it out. I guess I'm what some people will call a computer genius. I don't consider myself a computer genius. I have a very intimate and deep understanding with information technology, especially since I've worked for the government. I've been in gifted and talented programs throughout my life. I've always done computer programming, networking, just kind of generally those kind of things. So everyone thought I was going to be the Black Bill Gates. But I took a turn and decided that I don't really like working with computers. I really don't. I like people. I like working with social issues. I like working to actually do something that makes a difference, that truly makes a difference. And I am currently developing an app that does make a difference for the working class men and women of America. So, stay on the lookout for that. I'm not going to give any more details about that. So I am utilizing the gift that God has given me with computers to actually put something out in the technical world that, socially will impact people, but it's using my technical abilities that I've, learned over the course of the last couple decades. So, at the end of the day, this is what I want to do, though. I want to report on the things that are going on. I want to report on the things that matter most to you and I, and to our livelihood, and to our constitutional rights, to our godly rights. I want to work on these types of things that are going to bring better understanding, clarification, and knowledge to my fellow brother and sisters' life around the world, not just America, but around the world. So if you allow me to be that person and enable me to have that voice, I will take this mission on full time. I will literally quit my job to do this full time. So, the choice is going to be up to you guys. I'll get the ball rolling, though, this month. I'm going to start putting out a video, at least I'd say about 3 videos a week now. I'll try to do maybe 3 to 5. We'll see, but definitely 1 to 3 videos a week, where we can delve into some deep issues that are currently happening and that will be coming up soon. So here's a list of some things that I want to actually talk about that I'm sure that a lot of you are interested in hearing me talk about. Okay, I want to talk about Pizzagate. There's a lot that I do know about Pizzagate, and I want to give you a lot of the information that I have on Pizzagate and that I've collected personally myself on Pizzagate. I promise you a few of the things that you don't know about Pizzagate. So I would stay tuned to this channel. Make sure you subscribe below. Stay tuned to this channel for that Pizzagate coverage. Um, let's get this out in the open right now. Pizzagate is real. Okay? Now we don't have to call it Pizzagate. We can call it something else. I believe that Pizzagate is a very appropriate title, but of course the algorithms, the censorship, this fake news narrative that's going on right now, all of this stuff is going to block Pizzagate from really being seen from the search engine. So they're trying to definitely minimize our First Amendment rights, and it's very clear and easy to see. So we will be discussing Pizzagate on this channel. We will be going in depth, and we'll let you have your own conclusion after you get done seeing the information that I have about it. The Pope's Audience Hall. For those of you that don't know what the Pope's Audience Hall is, a great find that I had on the Outer Dark channel here on YouTube, shout out to the Outer Dark channel, was the research that was done on that channel regarding the Pope's Audience Hall. You guys are going to be blown away by the iconography that is displayed in the Pope's audience hall where he addresses his constituents at. It's just unbelievable, but I believe that's just the tip of the iceberg, and it goes a little bit further, and I have some information regarding that as well too. Anytime the Pope is sitting inside of a building and the whole entire building is modeled after a snake's head, and the inside of the building sorry about that, and the inside of the building is modeled after a snake's head, then we have to go ahead and investigate why this is happening. So I believe that this is just a great opportunity to bring that up. This is also, I'm just going to run down the list real quick because I got to get out of here soon. But this is also what's going on. We have Pizzagate, Pope's Audience Hall, Trump's Illuminati connections, migration to gold/Bitcoin, alternative energy forms. Very important. Very, very important. I'm going to blow your mind with some alternative energy forms that are outside the realms of solar and I'm just going to blow your mind with some alternative energy forms that you may or may not have known about, but I'm pretty sure 99% of you don't know about it. Solutions to beat the New World Order. Some of the solutions to beat the New World Order are going to be with the title that I said before, alternative energy forms. So we'll be going in depth about, not just talking about what the New World Order is doing. Oh my God, look at what Obama's doing. Oh my God, did you see what Trump did? Oh wow, look what Israel just did. Wow, what did the Pope just do? We're not going to be going through all of that. I mean, we're going to be doing stuff like that, of course, because you have to know what's going on. But we're also going to be coming up with rock solid solutions and developing initiatives to start to counteract and counterbalance some of this unruliness that we see going on from the ruling class. We also want to do, let's see, the importance of barter communities. Barter trade is all but dead in America. And that's a system that I actually came up on. One of the first millionaires that I was introduced to in my life, and I had the pleasure of working directly for, taught me a lot about marketing and business knowledge and just a lot, and about the barter system. So I want to share some of that knowledge that I've learned from this multimillionaire, self-made millionaire man that lived across the street from me as a child. So I'd love to share some of that information with you. It's so important now that we have barter communities in the time that we're in right now. I also want to talk about the Bar Association. I want to talk about what's going on with our lawyers and our judges here in America, and how that all relates to the power and the control of those who are in power, of the elite. So I want you to understand how the Bar Association has affected your life, how it will continue to affect your life, and how it's really just an illegal entity inside of the United States of America that is operating as a monopoly. Uh, from there, I want to talk about the U.S. Forest Service and chemtrails. Okay, not enough information is being given about the U.S. Forest Service and what they're spraying over these large populations of forests, the large population of forests that we have throughout the United States. But within those forest populations and within those mountainous structures, such as here in Chattanooga, there's people that live here. And in some instances, such as Chattanooga, hundreds of thousands of people. So whatever the U.S. Forest Service is spraying, whatever they're spraying, we have to find out what it is and talk about that and in ways that we can prevent ourselves from being affected by whatever they're spraying. Also, Russian Muslim terrorists, Russian Islamic terrorism. That's something that's never talked about in the mainstream media, and I did a very intensive report on it last year about soldiers from Chechnya, about the Islamic militants from the North Caucasus region who trained the soldiers in Ukraine and also the ones in Syria, the ones that our government is funding. They happen to be Russian Islamic militants. And you think Putin doesn't know about this? Of course Putin knows about it. Putin and Barack Obama worked together to overthrow these Russian Islamic militants back in, I believe, 2010, 2011 time frame. Since then, the head of that particular branch of Islam has had 3 or 4 different heads. And these different heads, they're pretty much nothing more than patsies, just like Osama bin Laden was. So we'll be talking about that. World War III. We're going to be talking about it, guys. China, Russia, Israel, the United States, the Vatican. There's so much to discuss, guys, with World War III. And a smaller name in there that folks may not, talk about too much, Taiwan. Okay, so we're going to talk about Taiwan as well and how that plays in World War III. So there's a lot of things we need to discuss, guys. This is just a small list. I can go on it, but I'm not going to. This video has been long enough. I just wanted you to understand what's going on in my life. This video shut off about 5 or 6 times now, so I apologize for the choppiness of it. But there's a lot of work to be done, and guys, I'm back. I'm ready to get back to work, and I want you guys to help put me back to work. So when I put the Patreon link up, please support me. Whatever you can give a month, maybe $5, maybe $20, maybe $30, whatever you can give a month to support good independent journalism and a guy that's willing to get on the ground. I'm a veteran of the United States Army that wants to show you the things that I learned in the Army with my secret security clearance. Excuse me, especially things like the Army After Next. I did a very good series on that, 3-part series that will blow you away. And I want to expose to you the things that the government has planned even as far back as 20 years ago and how those things are playing out now. But I need your help to enable me to do this. Like I said, I'll quit my job and I will go full time for you guys, but I'm going to need your assistance. So thank you for listening. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your support. And I promise you guys, Sincere is not going anywhere. I'm here to stay. I'm here to give you the information that others won't give you, even other independent media outlets. I'm not going to play the sides with you, select Donald, select Hillary. I'm not going to play those games with you. I'm going to tell you how the elite control the entire system. I'm not going to, keep one foot in their system, one foot out of their system and play you for dollars because I know that you may lean left or lean right. I'm not going to do that to you. Not at all. I'm going to give you the unfiltered, unadulterated truth as it is. All right. And if you guys respect that and you appreciate that, then enable me to continue to do that even further into the future. So thank you guys again for everything you've done in 2016 for me. I promise to bring you more in 2017, and we're not going to go twice as hard. We're going to go more than twice as hard. If you thought a little bit under 300 videos in 1 year was, a little bit going hard, I promise you, I have so much more I have so much more in the bank. I can easily do 1,000 videos this year, but I'm gonna need your support to do it. So thank you guys. Make sure you subscribe below. Make sure you also go below in the description section and download my app. And as always, guys, stay alert, stay alive.